as we're going to. All right, recording is in progress. So go ahead and, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for jumping on. I think it's going to be a great meeting tonight. A lot of information. I'm going to introduce Jimmy, and I'm not going to mess up your last name, Jimmy, but Jimmy's with BrightMLS. He's going to show us a bunch of things that we already have access to through our MLS. So it's going to be an awesome time. Feel free to jump in if you want to. Did you jump on the screen share already, Jimmy?
I have not, but I will momentarily.
Okay, fantastic. All right, so Jimmy, take it away, man. It's your show.
Well, Chuck, thank you so much for having me today. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this evening. My name is Jimmy Spiropoulos. I'm a customer success coach here with BrightMLS. My job is to make sure that our subscriber base knows how to use a lot of the tools and the systems that we have available to you. Bright has a lot of stuff going on, and we've kind of implemented a couple of new things, and you've probably seen a couple of emails going out, so on and so forth. So today we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then I'll open up the floor to answer any questions that you all have for me. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, so bear with me 1 second. That's the one that I'm looking for. And you can see my screen, correct?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. Yep. So the first thing that I want to talk to you all about is listing preview. So they finally got the ability to actually give you the ability to share your listings prior to them going live. So you have the ability of sharing it with your broker, your office manager, and your homeowners. So when you're in your listing, and I'm going to jump into just a quick listing, and I'm going to give you all an idea of how this works. All right, so we're going to jump into one of these listings here. And I'm going to show you where you can access it. So when you're coming in and you're creating your listing agreement in here, right under transaction participants, when you're in that area, this is the new field here now, okay? So you're going to see your list agent, which is normally going to be you, your co-list agent, if you have one, owner name, owner phone number, if that information is in there, but then you have the listing preview participants. Now, in order for you to share the listing preview with your clients, you're going to have to add their information into here, right? So I'm going to just give you a quick, we're just going to do something real quick so that way you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So when your listing is ready to be published, you'll see this tab here that says listing options, and you're going to see your share your draft, okay? And this is going to pull up all the individuals that you're able to share this information with. Now, I had put in this listing the home, myself as an owner, but I'm going to go back into transaction participants, and I'm going to edit and take this information out just so you can see. There we go, actually. All right, so now if I go into, I haven't put anybody in here. So when I go into the share draft, I can share it with myself and whoever my manager is or my broker, okay? So the system will not allow you to share it with the homeowners unless you come in here and add that information. So you'll come in, it's going to require only the name and an address, okay? And it helps if I type properly. All right, so we're going to save that. So now when I come into listing options and I have the share draft, I can see the homeowner that I put in there, right? And they'll be listed in the homeowner position. So generally, if it's one homeowner, you can just put them. You can put two homeowners, share it however you want. It's up to you, but you do have the ability of sharing it now to those individuals. And you'll see yourself as well, so you can share it to yourself. All you have to do is click whomever you want to send it to, highlight them, and then hit send, okay? I'm going to give you an idea of what the listing preview looks like. And this is really nice. When you're entering information, it's always good to have a second set of eyes to look over the information. Sometimes you're working with really kind of cantankerous owners who are very much involved in the process and want to kind of pour over the information and make sure that things are done correctly. And so having this ability to share with them is going to save you maybe some headache, instead of like, creating the listing, making it go live, and then having the owner come in and say, oh, this is wrong, I don't like this, so on and so forth. So this is what the listing preview will look like. You'll have the property address, you'll have your main photo here. As you scroll down, you'll see the map. Any additional media, if like you attached, let's say a virtual tour or so on and so forth, you'll have access to that information here. It'll show you the appliances. Remarks will be over here. And then you have all this other information, which you can go ahead and just click on the arrow and open up that field. Or you can just hit the expand all tab, and this will open everything up for you. Okay.
How many pictures will show up there? Just the main picture, or
it's just going to be the main picture? Yeah. There might be, well, let's see here. No, actually, all the photos.
Gotcha.
So you got I didn't notice this here, but you do have the arrows down here, right?
That's pretty cool.
So they can scroll through all the photos and make sure that they like all the photos that are in there. Right?
Yeah, I could have used that, because I just put in a listing and took it. Somebody took pictures or something like that, and the lady had her vacuum cleaner up against the wall, one of those little on the cordless ones. She's like, I don't like that picture. The vacuum cleaner's in. I'm like, nobody's gonna be looking at that. But yeah, I could have run it past her, and then she would have been very happy with something like that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I think it's a great tool because, again, you get to share it with people beforehand, right? Before it goes live. And that way you can just make sure that everybody's happy with everything. And then, the information is correct, and the owners are happy, basically. You also have the ability of printing it out by just clicking the print button. So if you ever want to share this information with anybody in your office, you have the ability of being able to do that as well.
And what status is it in when you can do that? You haven't published it yet? You're just in the listing part of it?
I mean, technically, if it's coming soon, I mean, yeah, I mean, technically it's supposed to be active, right?
Right. That's the broker in me talking. What can I say?
No, I mean, you all want to be compliant, so technically you're supposed to be in active status to do that, but if it's coming soon, or if you have an office exclusive signed, you can share it with anybody, right? So, I mean, those are always ways that you're going to skirt around it, right? To make sure that
I like the coming soon option. That way you can go it over with them. Look, this is getting ready to come on. If you see any changes that I really need to make, let's talk about it. I don't give them the carte blanche, but yeah, definitely. This is a good tool. That's nice.
Yep. I'm a big fan. And again, I'm just making sure that I take some information out so I don't accidentally publish this list, and since I'm not a licensed agent,
yeah, that won't be fun.
Yeah. There we go. I'll get that out of here. All right. So yeah, now as you can see, it's grayed out, and then you can actually still preview. I think you have to have all the fields filled out. They're mandatory fields before you can actually preview the draft. So you can have that preview, and then it sits in your preview for 90 days, and then you can publish it when you're ready. Okay.
Yep, absolutely.
Any questions about that?
Anybody, just unmute yourself and jump in. There's no protocols.
Okay.
I have the shy folks are on today.
That's all good. No worries. I know how it goes. As soon as I hop off, then everybody's going to have questions, right?
There you go. Oh, while I'm in here, I will mention that in the chat are some documents that you can just download. So the way that works, you click on them and it'll open up on your computer. Just let it sit in your computer until, after this is all done. And then you can go to that and download it to your computer. One's a link that you can go to and things like that. So you just click on it in your in the link, and let that window stay open on your computer. And then after the training is over, you can go back to it and put it wherever you need to put it and all that kind of stuff. Once tutorials and stuff like that. So, yep, just wanted you guys to know it's already in the chat. Just go open it up and save it for yourself.
And before
So the thing with the
go ahead.
yeah, so I was going to say the thing with the chat is that if you guys put it in the chat before we join the meeting, we do not have access to anything that was put in the chat before. So you
Gotcha.
have to put it in there again so that anyone who joined recently can see it.
I'll take care of that right now.
Right.
Oh, so anybody coming in afterwards, they won't be able to get that the other chats, huh?
Yeah, they can't see the previous chats.
All right, I'll take care of it.
All right. And before we end today too, I'm going to put my contact information in the chat. So if ever you all need to reach out to me for any reason, you need help with anything that's Bright related, I am your representative, and I'm here to make sure that you get all the help you need when it comes to Bright. I'll also put a link to my calendar in the phone, and I'm sorry, in the chat, pardon me. So if you ever want to schedule a 15-minute one-on-one Zoom session with me, you're more than welcome to. All you have to do is just go click on the link. It'll take you to my calendar, and you can just put a meeting on there whenever you know it's going to be convenient for you. All right. So I want to talk about Cubicasa next. So Cubicasa is a new application that you have access to, and you can go ahead and download this onto your phone. And what this allows you to do is actually when you have a listing, you can open this app up and walk through the property. And there's a tutorial on how to do it. It's a little bit difficult for me to demonstrate it just based off of like my logistics, but there's a video in here that we can take a quick look at. But basically you use this and you walk around the house with your phone, like kind of like chest high, and walk around, and you walk through the whole home, and it will create a 2D floor plan for you that you'll send it to the individuals, and then within 24 hours, they will send you a 2D floor plan for free for any of your listings. I'm going to play this video. Please let me know if you can't hear it.
Meet Cubicasa, a revolutionary floor plan solution for real estate. Create a floor plan in minutes with our easy-to-use mobile app. We've delivered over 1 million floor plans and are trusted by over 6,000 companies. It's easy to get started. First, sign up on our website, log into your account, and download the Cubicasa app. Watch our best practices video to see how the process worked. Then you'll be ready to start scanning. Making a scan is fast and easy. Just walk along the baseboard. Scan no closer than 3 feet and no farther than 8 feet from objects. After capturing the entire property, send your scan for processing. Your floor plan will be delivered the next business day. The final result will be a totally customizable floor plan available in JPEG, PNG, SVG, and PDF format. Check out our website, cubicasa.com. Floor plan is on us.
So you get free floor plans from your phone. You have to be about between 3 and 8 feet away from the wall, and like you say, about chest high. And then you send to them, and then in 21 day, one business day or whatever, they send you floor plans to your email.
Yep, exactly.
How awesome is that?
And it's free,
right? But I don't know if it'll stay free. But you know what?
for the foreseeable future, it is, and I believe cool. They do have some add-ons too if you want. Sure. We're gonna scroll down, but if you have like fixed furniture and you want to add that in, it's like a $15 per scan. There's a GLA report that you can add $15 for as well.
What's a GLA report?
So it gives you kind of like trying to think of the best way to like describe it. It kind of like gives you more like dimensions, and it will like just really kind of like get really granular information about like how like the walls are set up, like recessed stuff like that, like what kind of furniture you can fit in, so on and so forth, right? So it just doesn't give you like the normal like 2D like basic floor plan, but it really enhances the information that goes into the floor plan.
And then if you're running late, you can pay $10 and get it in 6 hours.
Yep, exactly.
Cool.
Another good feature about this too is that let's say you're using the app and you're in a place that has real spotty or really bad Wi-Fi or internet connection, or your phone's just not connecting properly, and you lose like cell service. If you're still scanning the app, it'll still scan everything. And then as soon as you get back to a place where you have either a solid mobile connection or Wi-Fi connection, it'll upload it then. And so that way you're not going to lose that scan as you're doing it if there's no Wi-Fi or internet connection or phone connection.
All right, this is a Cubic Casa app, right?
Yep, correct. Yep.
But what does what's the acronym GLA?
I don't know the exact acronym for GLA. And I apologize, and I can get that. Let's see here.
I could probably look it up.
Yeah, I don't know the exact acronym.
Okay, I can look it up.
So I apologize. But again, I think the most important thing is that you're getting that, that 2D floor plan for free, and then there's enhancements that you can add to it.
Cool.
Let's take a look here. Let me see if I can do a quick search and find that as well.
Oh, the GLA software is for appraisers. Okay. Yeah.
Gross living area
Right.
refers to above grade finished living spaces.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that's cool right there. All right, good stuff.
All right. So last kind of new tool that I want to talk about. MLS Touch. Have you all heard of it? Have you all downloaded it? Are you all familiar with it?
No and no.
Okay. That's cool.
It's news to me.
So if you have been a member, you're probably using HomeSnap for a little while.
Mhm.
Our partnership with HomeSnap is coming to a conclusion. HomeSnap was acquired by CoStar roughly a year and a half ago. And
CoStar's buying up everything, man.
they are. They're trying to take over the world with their as a data broker, and we've tried really hard to preserve that relationship, but they are going to monetize HomeSnap, and so our partnership with them is coming to an end at the end of the month. If you've paid for additional services, I would reach out to them. From what I've heard is that at the end of sometime in Q3, they're going to retire HomeSnap app and launch a new app, and I think it's called Homes Pro. I'm not 100% sure, but people can continue to use that product if they so wish. Now, we have launched an app called MLS Touch. And what that it's an app that's web-based or an application-based that connects to the MLS that will give you the functionality of a HomeSnap connected to Bright. And so I'm going to pull this up real quick. Bear with me. And I'm going to show you what it looks like. All right. You can see my screen, correct?
Oh yeah, we sent just a Bright login. You're seeing right now.
Okay. Do you see my computer screen or my phone screen?
No.
Okay. Bear with me 1 second. Let me see. I'm going to do another share real quick. I'm going to stop sharing just so.
Right. Yes.
Or I'm going to do a new share. Bear with me. Here we go. Okay. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay. So make this full screen to give you all a better view. All right. So this is what the app looks like. Okay. MLS Touch. And I'm going to send you a slide and some information on how to download this. You'll go into your app store basically and type in MLS Touch, and you'll download it. The logo, so you know that it looks correct, will kind of look like this right here, right? In a square.
Okay.
When you open it up, it'll ask for a couple of permissions. You'll accept those, and then it's going to ask you to select your state. You're going to be tempted to choose Maryland, but what you're going to want to do is scroll and look for Bright area. And Bright area encompasses all of Bright's footprint, because we operate in 6 states as well as the District of Columbia. So you'll choose Bright area. You'll select that, and then it's going to ask you to select your MLS, and you'll choose BrightMLS. And then from there, it should take you to a menu where you're going to log in with your MLS credentials. Okay, so whatever your login is on your desktop for Bright, you're going to use the same login information for this app. Okay. So here is where you have the ability of creating a map search. So you'll come in, and when you allow the location services, it kind of will open up in the map close to where you're looking at, or to where you're at. You can always zoom out to get a further aspect, right? You can search by just going in and typing, clicking on the search here. And then if you want to, let's say, want to look at Bowie, Maryland, you can type in Bowie, and you'll click on the postal city. And then it'll go over to Bowie, and it'll show you all the properties that are for sale over there, right? You can, zoom in to get closer. If you want to just kind of, there's a lot of properties here, you can always click on the list tab here, and then it'll show you all the properties that you can scroll through.
And it is pretty easy. I just did it.
Yep. I like this app a lot. It's very user-friendly, very user-friendly. But we'll jump into one of the listings here so you can take a look at it and see what it looks like, right? So you come in, it'll have all the pictures on the left-hand side. You'll see your status. Generally up here will be when it's going live or days on market, so on and so forth. You have your pricing here and all the other information. Here you have the ability of sharing this, so you can click on the share tab, and you can share it by text. You can send it by email. You can send it in a message to someone that you're working with that has the client side app of this, or you can copy the MLS number that way. You have the ability of scheduling a showing right from the app as well. So you just click on schedule showing, and it'll pull up a showing time for you. It's integrated right into it. Super easy to use. You can add a new buyer. You can skip this step, right? And then, you'll just pick the date and time and just kind of scroll through and enter the information the way you would normally do it via showing time.
Nice.
You also have the ability of adding the property to a cart, and also searching for comparables, right? So if you were looking for something that was similar, you'll just hit the comparables, right? And you can choose between recently sold or on the market. Your price range, you'll just slide the scale, and it goes from plus 5% to plus 30% of the price. Right? And then you can search for properties all the way from half a mile up to 50 miles. And you can set it for either the same number of bedrooms by turning this on, and if you want it off, it'll just ignore the number of bedrooms and just pull up all properties within that area. You'll click next, and then it'll bring up all those properties that are similar.
Cool. Perfect.
So you have that. Let's see. Yep, there's the comparables. And then if for some reason you have your phone connected to a printer, you can always print that information here. If you want to view any private notes, you can here. All the listing documents for this property, you click on listing documents. It'll take you back to Bright, so you have to log in to Bright to get those listing documents. So it's not quite seamless as it would be in HomeSnap, where it just pulls up the documents. You do have to log back into Bright, but you do have the ability of collecting those documents while you're on the road.
And it's the same login, because when I did mine, it asked me if I wanted to use my Bright login. So yeah.
Exactly.
All right.
So
Jimmy,
then you have
I'm gonna have to get in here in about a minute or so because I got a bunch of stuff to give them before they start logging off and telling me I'm taking too long.
No worries. Okay. So there's a lot that we can do in this. The last thing that I'll show you is where you can share the app. So if you go down here to the right and click on the More tab, you go to the brand and share here. Okay. You'll click Continue, and you can select your logo by clicking Select, and you'll pick your picture, pinch and zoom, right? Crop it, pick your colors, and then hit Apply Colors and Logo. And then you can share your app here. You'll click on that Share My App, and then you can send it by text or by email. Okay.
And once they have this app from you, they can search for homes right on that app, right?
Exactly. Exactly. So I know that you're pressed for time and I don't want to take up too much, but real quick, what I do want to do is just share one more thing with you, and I'm going to go back into Bright. We are doing tons of training for this app, and you can see my screen, correct? You can see Bright?
Yes.
All right. If you go to the Education tab here and click on Webinars, and then you can scroll down to MLS Touch and click on Register. And we have almost a daily training, several daily trainings on different ways of using the app. So definitely take advantage of this. It dives a little bit further into the app and showing you all the different functionality that comes along with it. So yeah, make sure you're taking advantage of this. This is a great tool to have while you're on the road. You don't have to break out the laptop and do a lot of craziness, and it's easy to use. So, and it syncs back to your desktop version as well. So definitely take advantage.
Ooh. Jimmy, man, it's been great, man. We got a lot of good information in here. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I'll make sure that your information is in there already. I reposted it to make sure that everybody has it that jumped on now. And just let me know if you don't. I have it, and I can get it to everybody.
Perfect. And I just put a link to my calendar in the chat bar, or in the chat section. So if anybody ever wants to schedule some time with me, that link is a direct link to my calendar. So you can just go in and schedule something on my calendar. And you'll get a Zoom link, and we can hop on and talk about whatever it is that's Bright related that you need.
Everybody online here gets their own private tutorial of BrightMLS and everything that it can do for you to help you make money, serve your clients, and everything else. Real cool.
For sure. I worked with agents prior to this position, so I understand what you all do and how challenging it can be to get in front of all your clients. So I will help you and put it into terms that you all understand as it pertains to your business.
Perfect.
All right, folks. Thank you so much for having me. Hope you all have a wonderful evening.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You got it. Take care.
All right. Thanks a lot, Jimmy. I'll be back in touch, man.
Anytime, folks. Have a wonderful evening.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Let me stop the share. Give me a minute to get rid of what I was on. Come on. Okay. Let me get out of here. Alrighty. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. All right, can everybody see where we are? Can you see what I'm looking at? Okay, let me open up the next thing too. Sharing your screen, a new share. All right, so what I'm gonna do is take you through a quick PowerPoint that like I said, this meeting I'm gonna do here is basically all about how to create the ultimate CMA. That is a couple things. Everybody can see my screen okay?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, so how to create the ultimate market analysis. Now, a couple of things you should know. A market analysis is real important. Why create a ultimate market analysis? Well, your ability to create an accurate CMA can be the difference between being a listing agent or having most of your business come from buyers. Now, buyers is okay in the beginning. That's how you start your way. That's career. That's how all of us start our career in many cases. So, but buyers, if you're still in the business, when they're ready to sell, they become sellers. Okay. And one of the things I'm going to encourage you all to do, something that I learned that Aaron and I learned at the convention, is that what's called an APA, the annual property analysis. Now that's what actually prompted me to do this particular training on this particular day. It's a valuable way to keep your clients coming back to you. And it's also serves as a way to ask for referrals, because you're going to do this every year on their anniversary. Now, you're just hearing about this. So what I'm going to want you to do is to go back into your database to the buyers that you've sold and say, hey, look, I've got a new service that I'm providing. I'm going to give you a market analysis now, and then I'll be able to give you one on your anniversary of buying the house. So, it doesn't have to be exact day, just be in that realm there. But what you're doing with that is you're showing them how much equity and things like that they should have. And it's going to be a very, very wide range of numbers, but you're staying in touch with them, you're staying engaged with them. That way, if you do that and a couple of other things during the year, you'll learn in the sphere of influence training that you want to get 40 touches in there. 40 touches one kind of way or another. So this is one good way to give value, okay? So let's talk about a couple of the things that I'm going to go over in this. The circle of wagons. So you want to pick a 1 to 5 mile radius from around the subject property. You want to use the BrightMLS mapping tool, which I'll show you in a minute, and keep the same flavor of the neighborhood. So if you're going out 5 miles and you have one neighborhood with small ramblers on it, no basements, and then 3 miles away from there is 2-level homes with a basement, no, that's not the same flavor. So you want to use that with your own smartness in mind here. Okay. Let's see. All right. Going to the next. No status changes. So when and we'll see this in a minute. When you go in there, you want to eliminate all the statuses. You can choose all or none. Choose none. And as you're making your choices, you can squeeze down and hone down on it a little later on. Okay. The look back period. So whenever you do a market analysis, you're looking back. And you want that to be 6 to 9 months. Now, really, this is controlled by the market temperature. If the market is slow, you might have to look back, 12 months, 15 months. If the market is real fast, you might only be able to go back 3 or 4 months because the market is moving that quickly, and you want to be right on top of the whole market situation and what's going on. So you have to be in there. Another category you're going to see is the years built. Now, you want to go from 10 to 20 years plus or minus with the year that the subject property is built on. And this really does depend on the kind of home. Older homes, you can generally increase that year span, sometimes 15 or 20. And newer homes, you want to tighten it up a little bit. So example, a home built in 1965, you probably go back 20 years either way. But a home built in 2000, you maybe want to go 10 years back, because the 1990 homes are going to be a little bit older than 2000 and 2010. Going to be a lot newer, but it'll give you kind of a broad stroke of how to do that. Number of bedrooms and bathrooms. More of either can mean a little bit more in functional value. So in other words, people might be willing to pay a little bit more. They had a few extra bedrooms or a few extra bathrooms, as opposed to maybe putting them in themselves later on, because they don't want to do that. And then you're looking for similar square footage. So, this carries the square footage has more weight in terms of the value or what people are willing to pay than the beds or bathrooms. Okay, and ownership type. So beware the condo townhomes, because they look like townhomes, but they're condominium ownership. You need to go in and make sure that they're not condominiums, that they're fee simple ownership. And usually if you see a number sign in the address, that indicates that it's a condominium. Very few properties are actually fee simple and have a number sign in their address. So if it has a unit number in the address, it's usually a condominium, even though it's a townhouse floor plan, but it's usually a condominium, okay? Check the public records. Public records will have it listed as in so-and-so condominium association and things like that, and look for other sales in that community. And then actually call some of the listing agents of properties that recently settled. Say, hey, look, Joe, man, is that you just settled at 123 Main Street? Is that a condominium regime over there? You know, just have those questions answered. Dwelling types, okay? You're going to try to find some of the same type of floor plan or something close to it. What do I mean by that? So if you're looking at a house, like I said, it's a one-level rambler, that's not going to be the same floor plan. It's not going to be the same draw, same clients buying it as a two-level split foyer. And you might have a two-level split foyer, and then you have a three-level split level. Now that three-level split level will not have as much square footage as the 2 stories of a foyer, but a 4-level split level might be the same. So you have to kind of judge, you know, what you know about it and the floor plans. Also realize that the square footage that you see in the MLS, I'm not in the MLS, but in the property records is just the above ground square footage. You have to look into the record a little bit and you'll start to see that it'll give you an underground or the basement square footage as well, and look at the total square footage. So make sure you're using apples against apples, okay? Garage spaces, you tend to try to match that up. Make sure that it probably has a correct amount of misspelled garage comps in there. And, you know, it's going to be a judgment call, but the appraiser may have different numbers than what you estimate. But at this stage of the game, we're just trying to get in the ballpark and make sure that we don't leave any money on the table for our sellers, because that agents can get in trouble with that. You can literally get sued if you leave too much money in there. You know, the sellers depending on you to give your professional advice. And then, you know, you tell them some number that's way low, and they find out they lost $50,000 because you didn't do the comps right. Yeah, they may have something to say about that, or their lawyer may have it. So be careful. All right. And then basement price adjusting, you know, you got to figure out what percentage is finished and things like that to try to make those comparables. Now, it's not an exact science. You're giving an opinion. That's why you always give a price range. You don't say that your house is worth X amount of dollars. You say it's somewhere between this range. You know, and I try to get away with as much as I can, $20,000-$25,000 in price, somewhere between $350 and $375. You know, $350 and $380 maybe, or something like that, just depending. All right. Then it's all about the dollars per square foot. At the end of the day, when you really start to look at your numbers, and you'll see this, if you've ever watched an appraisal, looked at an appraisal, or really studied an appraisal, there's a dollars per square foot column on every one of those comparables and on the subject property. So the appraisers are looking at that as a real number. What are people willing to pay dollars per square foot for properties in this area? Okay, and keep your comps within about 100 to 150 square feet of the subject property. Okay, and perform that dollars per square foot comparison. That's real important, and it's actually in the MLS. Your MLS has it in there. It says, "Hey, how many dollars? This is the dollars per square foot on the property." It's right there. They do the math for you. So let's take advantage of all of that. Minor considerations. Pictures are worth $1,000. Appearance affects the price. Properties that don't show well don't sell well. Okay, and then in reference to whether it has central air or not, how do you deal with that? Okay, well, if it has a forced air system, I saw a property today, older property, has a forced air system. So they have a furnace, and there is no air conditioning there. But if somebody wanted to put air conditioning there, the vents are already there for the forced air furnace. So it's just a matter of them, adding a condenser on the outside and putting A coils on the inside and those type of things, as opposed to hot water radiators. There's no vents. So somebody's gonna have to go through, put vents in the closets and up against the walls and all running all against the ceilings and things like that. That's going to be a little bit more costly. Also, other minor considerations to take on your market analysis are the type of sale. Is it a hardship? Is it a short sale? Is it a fixer-upper? Is it just a regular sale, standard sale? Is it a quick sale needed? Are they, is this a fire sale, et cetera? You have to look at all of those type of possibilities and weigh them into your calculations in terms of the pricing. And then your target number of comparables is somewhere from 6 to 8, if at all possible. That gives you a broad spectrum because you're going to be putting this into a market analysis and giving it to the seller and telling this and sharing with the seller why you picked them and why they're similar to their property. And this lets them know that it's not you making the price, but the market is speaking. The market is determining the price, not you, not them even, but the market is. Okay. So we'll come out of that and you all can still see my screen, right?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right, so now I started work on this because I didn't want to take up a whole lot of our time, but the property that I'm looking at is 4,000 Rolling Paddock Way, it's something like that. But it's not a real property, but I'm using another real property. I just don't want to put the whole name. It's Rolling Paddock Drive. Okay, so now what I do is then. Again, I'm going within 3 miles. Now, when I was messing with this, I did 2 miles and I only came up with less matches, so I moved it out. But let me show you some of the fields that I did, which is similar to what I was just talking about. Under the map search here, you can go into a map search. It'll open up and you put in the property address up there, and then it'll draw a line. You can draw your own line, or you can take that field that I just showed you, and it'll go 3 miles from around that address. It automatically puts it in there. I put in the county. Be careful of this. You might not need it if you're in the middle of the county, but when you get closer to the DC line or another county line, you want to only, because different counties will have different prices. So you want to
So we can
go ahead.
Sorry, we only see the PowerPoint still.
Yeah, we don't see the map, sir. The map.
What? Okay, let me.
We're under the.
Yeah. Okay, don't worry. Boom, boom. You don't see anything now, right?
No, just the participants.
Okay. All right. What about now?
Okay, we see the map search now.
Good stuff. All
Yeah.
right. So yeah, like I said, when you can go up to map search, and when you put it in like that, it gives you a nice even circle right around that address, and so on and so forth. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. Let me open this up all the way here. All right, so yeah, so again, I'm putting in the property, Prince George's County. The next thing I put in are the listing term begins. I tend to use a date plus, so that there's a lot of different formats you can do. You can do so 11/1 to certain date, but I just do 11/01/22 plus. That gives me about 6-8 months of our property. So that's right in between that 6 to 9 months that I was saying. And if I think something's too old and not really that good, I'll make the adjustments down the road here. Notice I have nothing in here. I put select none. I don't have it as coming soon or anything else like that. I want to see everything that they have there. So you can put canceled, expired, and things like that. See, I put canceled and expired. The number went down to 2. So I want to make that choice later on, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Okay, so scrolling down to some of the other fields that I'm going to put in to eliminate the stuff that we don't want. I put in fee simple, so there's no condominiums coming in there. I put in detached, no semi-detached or anything else like that. So this algorithm is looking just for what I wanted to. I want properties that have a basement, so I had yes. And then the above ground square footage. So according to the MLS, the property has 3,490 or 3,500 square feet. So what I did was I went down 150. Now, the bigger the house, the bigger you can make that square footage difference. But see, on a house that's maybe only 1,200 square feet, you can't do 150 square feet because that'll kind of take you out of the mix a little bit. But this is a nice tight group. In that if the appraiser were to come and say no, this is not right, I could show him or her how I got to these numbers, what other comparables that I use. Yes, it has a basement. Yes, it has 2-car garage. And again, I'm looking for similar properties. Then I have central air, okay, because that's just to make sure. It usually is going to be that in houses that are built, between that time frame. Nothing else, pretty much nothing after 1950 is built without central air, unless it's just somebody just missed. So those are what I've put in so far. Okay. And then, you can tweak this a little bit. The more you play with it, the more you'll get used to it and the more you'll find. So what happens once I put these in here and go for my results, click on my results, comes up with 8 properties, okay? So these 8 properties are the ones. So what I do from this point, this is where, now I've chosen everything. Let me unchoose everything and start with the first one. Okay, the first one, okay, let me go back a little bit. So what I do also is I start with a price from lowest to highest. Now they're gonna, when you first do this, it's gonna come in they're all over the place, but I adjust the price. I want to go in from the lowest to the highest. Then I adjust the status. Okay, so then what it's going to do is give me active under contract, close, expired, and cancel, and it'll give me them in that order. Also, they'll be in price order. So now when I go to look at them, I can decide. So this is the least expensive one on the market for $699. Well, that's at the bottom of the market. Let me see why. Then I open it up. I look at the pictures. Okay, that doesn't show very well. It's well lived in. It's cluttered, and they're not professional pictures at all. This is somebody took this with they didn't even use an iPhone. They used Android. You can tell. So and that's.
First of all, there's nothing wrong with Androids. So go ahead.
I have one. I'm just saying, in terms of pictures, I choose a photographer. Now, a photographer takes the best pictures. If you don't have a photographer, Apple iPhones can take all right pictures. Androids can do all right too. But I choose personally on my listings because I want to get paid quickly. I want to get the top dollar for my client. I invest in professional photos for all of my listings. I mean, I had a listing up in Baltimore, for $199,000, and in Baltimore. So I'm like, okay, but I had sent them up there. Her pictures made the property look better than it was. I mean, it looked better in the pictures than it did in person. So but this gives you an idea of what now again, you're in the process of trying to price something new, right? Trying to send this to your client. So I'll go on to the next one. See what time here. Rodeo, and again, go ahead. You about to say something?
So quick question. So yeah, you said talking about paying for the listing. Is that something you pay for as a realtor, or is that the buyer pays for?
No,
How does that work?
I pay for it,
Okay.
write it off. And what happens is that I end up getting more action. I sell quicker. It sells for more money. So I'll probably make that up if I get the right price, or I get them bidding for the property. Then I'll make that $200 up in commissions all day long. And even if I don't, it's a tax write-off. And then at the end of the day, I'm putting this stuff up on my YouTube channel and things like that. So people go to check me out and they're looking at these pictures. They're like, wow, these are some awesome pictures. Oh, Chuck only takes really awesome listings. Oh, wow, this is great. So, for me, it's a business decision that I've chosen to stick with. And I've been doing this for like 4 or 5 years now. My listings sell quickly. So, this is another one. Now, this one shows a little bit better, right? But again, you're looking at comparables here, or what's as you're preparing your market analysis. But this one's at $749, $750. So it's about $50,000 more. We know from the square footage and things like that, it's not a whole lot different. The subject property is built in 2009. This was only 3 years newer, but it's actually active and under contract. So that'll tell you a whole lot right there. So the other one is still active after 29 days on the market. Okay. The next one is already under contract, and it's been on the market 76 days. So, the market, that might be a market slow, might have gone through a couple of contracts. You just never know. Oops. Yeah. All right, going on to the next one. All right, cross country. Okay, that's a good looking property here, right? It's $770, and it is closed, settles. All right, so now, wow, I want to see what this one is. Okay, a little bit newer, 2015 versus 2009. What did it look like? 36 pictures. They're probably not junk. Yeah, see? And then you can almost always tell that this was staged, or it could be virtually staged. It could have been, they just could have left furniture in there, things like that. So this is me again. I'm making my assessment on how to do this market analysis, and I'm going to actually prepare this. I'll show you in a minute how to send it to your seller. Okay. Next one here is $795. Now we're going, and this is closed. And so this one is a little bit newer. So that's see how the pricing is going up. The newer they are, newer homes are going to sell for more. It's a younger home, so it's going to sell. But now when I see 55 pictures, I know that that's professionally done, because those are packages that they come, and you can get minimum of 25, you go up to 55, you get virtuals, all that kind of good stuff. Zoom, aerial shot, drone shots, the whole 9 yards. You have a whole lot. You got that full mirror in there. Look, tray ceiling, nice looking home. Okay. So now the conversation I have is because when I do the market analysis and send it to the seller, they can't see all of these pictures. So I tell them, no, you can't just look at the front picture of the house. You have to Google that address that I sent you and go see what the pictures really look like, and make sure your house either looks like that, or if it doesn't, you need to make the adjustment on the price. Okay. So going off from 4, now I'm going up to number 8, and this one is closed to at $855. Now this has got to be a humdinger here. 57 pictures. You see a trend here, right? You see somebody's got 57, first class pictures. Look at that, crisp and clean. iPhone isn't taking that depth of field. It looks like your eyes look. The phones don't always do that. They distort things. Okay. And this is a lived-in home, and still, but let's take a look at the pictures look good. Let's see what else is going on there, how long it's been on the market. Now, one of the things you should know is that the more words you put in, the better. That's what goes out there on the internet. This one sold in 7 days. 7 days. Original price was $845. And let me see what the status of it is. Closed, $855. So they went up $10,000. They probably asked for some more closing costs, and it should tell you here whether they paid some closing costs or not. Yep, concession amount. So the buyer increased the price by $10,000, asked for $20,000 in closing help. It was closed price was $855. List price. So seller said, okay, well, great. I'll get $10,000 less, but I'm getting a lot more. So and knowing that is what's going to help you explain to your seller what's going on and when you need to do that. Okay. So again, this is talking about a market analysis. And again, once you put this together for a client, your past clients, you can have that conversation with them as well. Hey, look, it looks like you know what your house is like now. I haven't been in it since I sold it to you. So hopefully you got it all tightened up and right. But if you do have it tightened up and right, these are the kind of numbers you can kind of look for. Now, somebody has 95 pictures in here. What do you think? That's exactly what's going to happen. They're nice. I can go through them all day long. And this is just a trend that's happening. The more pictures you put in, and it used to be they told us, hey, buyers aren't going to swipe to the left or to the right more than 5, 10, 15 times. That's not true. If people were going to see every one of them if they can. This one lasted on the market for 14 days. Okay, 14 days, listed for $899.9. The seller took $885. Doesn't look like I see any concessions in here, so but again, this is a similar house, 2019. It's newer, so as you're now, this is what I was saying. When they're newer homes, sometimes you might have to back. You can't go 10 years ahead, because if you look at 2009 and then 10 years and then 2019, that's like almost like it's built, just a couple of years ago, 3, 4 years ago. Yeah, come on in. So I think, and then I'll get to these last two. How you doing? So yeah, $725. Now this one expired. Now it's good to know what properties are expiring, because it tells you what not to do. At $725, this house was built in 2014, so it's about only 5 years older than the subject property. And for whatever reason, it's no longer on the market. It's been tried to go on the market for 115 days. That's a lot of time to not get it done. So let's see what the pictures look like. And then it, sometimes when you run into this, in order to give your seller a good, like these pictures look fine. But there must be something else going on why it expired. Maybe sellers changed their mind and things like that. And I did actually look into this one a little bit, and I found out the seller actually had a situation that they could no longer sell their house, so they just took it off the market there. But house looks good. So now I have all of this stuff here. Let me go back to my my list. Boom, 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 boom. Go back to here. Hold on. Lose this. So select all. Boom. Okay. Now from here, I'm selecting all. Okay. Now from here, I'm going to go and click on CMA. Everybody see where I'm at? Right here, click CMA. It's going to let me put in a CMA. I put in the contact's name. Say Mr. O, okay. Put in the description, your house. Okay. Pages, I leave the pages the same. And you can set this up. You can decide which pages go in there, which pages do not. Okay, you have the subject property. So I'm gonna leave that blank for right now, because normally you would have a regular property, but I just picked a ghost property. Let me see, go for public record, see if there is a street there. 4,000. What I say was rolling paddock. Paddock. Okay, cool. Got one. All right, so it's going to upload that information in there. Boom, put here, fill from selected. So it's going to start to fill in now. You have a picture here. If you don't have a picture already in the MLS, you can actually have taken a picture with your, now this one is fine if you drive by and take it with your phone. This is fine for the exterior picture. So when they get the report, it's going to look dynamite. They're going to see you picture of their house and all that other kind of good stuff. You can go through here and correct whatever you need to correct. What I normally do is I'll correct the things that'll okay, take 2008. So annual tax amount, I might take that out. Assessed value, you might leave that in there. It just really depends. So on mine, I have close date 7/7/21. Okay, that's interesting. All right, it's closed price. So, and it even has an MLS number in there. So I'm gonna leave all of that in. This wouldn't be the case when you're doing. But when you use this program, you get the cover, has your name on it, all that other kind of stuff. You get the comparables. Now, these are the same comparables. I'm going to choose them all, okay? And then you show on a map where they go, where they are. Now, this is your subject property. See, the comparables are all in the same general area. Here, you can make adjustments for things that you know about. Maybe you know that the school district would make it a little bit more expensive, subdivision name, sell a concession amount, like sort of one with $20,000. You can make all of those adjustments here. And when you make the adjustments on these lines, it's going to adjust the price. The price is, you have the price, and then you have the adjusted price. So once you put in the adjust, like I think let me go back here a little bit. So with this one with the 20,000, if you put 20,000 in here, when you come up, it's going to change that price. It's going to see 855, 875. So you can make adjustments in here. Maybe you want to adjust the number of bathrooms, maybe had a few extra bathrooms, few extra bedrooms. You can adjust in here if you want to, just be able to explain that to your client. Now, this is the real important part here, pricing. Because in this pricing, the system is going to give you a price, a comparable price, adjusted comparable price, median, average, high, and things like that. And then in here, you get to on the suggested price. This is where you put your price range. So you might put 675 to 885. Now I would not really put something that high, but we noticed that the 800 ones were newer, so I might go 675 to maybe 725 or something like that. So, and again, you know, you have to do this over and over and over again till you get a system down. That'll do, and then you put in any notes. I usually put in, please Google the address to see interior pictures. Okay, so I've let that know. Go over here to finish. All right, once you finish it, save it. And then the way I save it is I go to view CMA, which brings it up in a PDF format that I can then save under my on my computer and send it directly to my client versus via email. So it's a really easy way for you to stay in touch with them, send them a very, very, very sophisticated looking product. All right, I'm gonna pop this out. You all can still see my screen, right? Everybody say yeah. All right, so this is how the market analysis comes to them. Many of you all, if you already use this, things like that, your information is in there, so set it up properly. And it gives them a ton of information. It tells them what the listing price is between, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, explains everything to them, number of days on the market. Yes, say it again.
Now, my screen is showing loading CMA.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Dolores, your next paycheck, get you a better computer.
I got a brand new computer.
Okay, I'm messing with
No,
you.
I think all of ours is.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
really?
Teresa, you're gonna have to get your husband. We're gonna strangle him.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on them. I'm working on them.
It's hard, Teresa.
I know. He's
Intelligent
special.
Jesus.
I know. First he talking about the phone, now you talking about the computer.
No, it still has you're still not seeing it on my screen, on your screen.
I see your screen, but it's saying loading CMA.
Okay.
Mine too.
All right, let me see here. Let me see.
Okay.
If I can you see it now?
Yeah, I see one picture.
Yes.
So this is the market analysis. So,
Okay.
So this is how it looks. This is how it's going to come through to your client. Picture of their house, comparative market analysis, another picture. It's going to tell them who is prepared by, subject property, has all your information. You get to load all of this in when you do your CMA. You get to put all the information, put your picture in and all that good stuff. Your comparables, it tells them about the comparables. Tells them about the number of days on the market. And this is where you can show, hey, look, you know, that one, maybe Bridal Ridge, you know, that one might have spent 70 days on the market, probably still didn't sell. So you can let them know that you don't want to do that. You want to be somewhere in here and see what they did to sell theirs in a reasonable time period. And that, but again, this takes all of the information that you have and takes it off of you. It's not you saying this. This is what the market is saying. The market is speaking, and you want to try to get them to listen to the market. But it comes out very professionally. This is 35 pages. And then on the last page, or actually on the at the beginning page, it tells them what the pricing, your pricing thing is, where your pricing opinion on this, your pricing thing. So, not that page. Let me see. So this gives you all of the stuff, and then what is it? Price. Oh, okay. Sorry, they move the form around a little bit. So you know you're looking at all. It's giving them tons of information. Now they're seeing all of the remarks that other people are seeing in these. They're reading through all of that. So they're certainly going to expect you to have a full paragraph. And nowadays, I think you can put up to 4,000 words or something like that in the description of the properties. Do that. And you have to do, that's a whole nother class. We have to really do it in a way that compels them to want to see it and look at it. And maybe, make an appointment to see and all that kind of stuff. So, and they're going to be expecting that from you. So you make sure you get your verbiage good, talk to Chat GPT, so how you describe this.
Use your AI.
Yeah, that's Chat GPT, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my goodness, yeah. So, and then yeah, here's that price per square footage I was talking about. See how all of this stuff runs in? Average price is 219, high is 2, and right in there. So this is where you're not saying that you have to get them out of their feelings, and you're providing this to them at free of charge because you're touching base with them every year or so. You're doing one of these and sending it to them. Say, oh wow, I got good price. Now the thing is, when you're sending them something like this, they might want to do something with that equity, like maybe keep that house, pull some equity out, buy another house, something like that. All that because you're giving them good, solid information, and because you care. So that's the easiest way to do it. I know I covered a lot of information here, and I wasn't trying to keep y'all all day and all night and whatnot. But what questions do you have? Anybody? Anybody still here?
Yeah, I got no questions. Thank you.
All right, good stuff. Well, like I say, let's go ahead and rock and roll with this. I'll have this up in the next couple of days or so because I've got to go someplace now, so I probably won't be able to sit here and wait for it to download to the computer and go up. But yes, Jeanette, I see your hand.
Can we go back? I have a question not related to this. Do you know where PG County is regarding the new law with rent control? I know they passed the legislation for a temporary hold for 1 year, where landlords cannot increase rental prices more than 3%. Do you know if there's any movement to make that permanent or not?
No, I don't. Okay, that's a whole debacle. So I've talked to PG Carr, talked to Dwayne Mingo, who's been on top of this. I heard about it the first part of the year before it became bill. We as a association, locally and statewide, were pressing them to not get it. There's a lot of politicking going on. So the young lady who ramrodded it through, this is her first time on the county council, and she's already vice chairman. So I don't know whether she has a lot of pulls. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, it's supposed to sunset next April 16th. But if they did it once, you never know. They could do it again. Really, so the state is going, because they don't want it to go viral in the state with stuff like this, because it'll hurt the whole state. Landlords took a hit because they couldn't raise their prices with COVID. Then you come out of COVID and boom, here's a rent restriction. So we're really hot under the collar behind that, Jeanette, for real. But we don't know where it's going to go. We're definitely rallying our forces. Yolanda Muckle has been talking against it big time. She's president of the Maryland Realtors Association. So she's on top of it. Behind her is Cheryl Abrams, who's another past Prince George's County Association president. And she's a president-elect right now. So it's not going to go away. We're not going to go quietly in the night. Let's put it like that. We're not going quietly in the night. It's just not fair to homeowners and landlords. I mean, you bit the bullet during COVID, couldn't evict them, couldn't make them pay, couldn't raise their rent, couldn't do anything, and now everybody's coming through this thing, and now you're going to try to hamstring us again. So we're a little upset at it.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All righty, my pleasure, my pleasure. All right. Any other questions? Cool. Well, I appreciate you all hanging in there. I know we ran a little bit long. I know that the information was good from my man. And if you want the information, if you didn't get it through the chat, then just let me know. I see a question in the chat. Let me see. Put my glass back on so I can read it. All right. Use a photography that specializes in real estate and charge the seller. That's a possibility. If you, you can definitely. No, okay. That's a good question. Thank you, Jeanette. China, you asked me about who pays for that. That's my choice to pay for it because it's costing me like $210, and I get 25 professional shots. She goes in there and handles them all. sends me a Dropbox upload, and I just upload them and keep it moving. A couple of times I've had to do the virtual, and that really went well. It's a little bit more for the virtual walkthrough there and things like that. But yes, you could, it's just how you talk with the seller. You could go to the seller and say, look, you want professional pictures, it's going to cost you a little bit more, or maybe, you can say, well, I'll pay for the front, but I'll get it back in settlement. There's a lot of things you can do. There's nothing, I'm wide open and, anything that's legal. So no, you don't have to pay for that yourself if you don't want to. That was my personal business choice. But yeah, if you can get the seller to pay for it, yeah, absolutely. It just depends on how you pitch it to the sellers. And you could actually show them, like we did here, the difference between this property that didn't get professional photography, and this is what they sold for, and this property that did, they sold it for $1,000 or more. So if you had to spend extra $300, $400, it probably is worth it, and they could probably write it off on their taxes, So, yep, absolutely great question, great comment. But it is your business, I'm not gonna make you do anything like that. We talk about it, and it's definitely your decision, and you and your client's decision. If client says I don't want to do it, and you want to, so with me, I tell my clients, hey, look, I'm gonna get professional photography. I got a new listing that's just coming up. The owner has an iPhone. She sent me like 40-something pictures, but they're iPhone pictures. So tomorrow she's going to get professional pictures done. And on Saturday, I should have them. I'll upload them for the open house on Sunday. Speaking of which, we have an open house this coming Sunday from 2 to 4, right there off of Harry S. Truman Drive in Capitol Lane. It's a fairly new townhouse. It's a new townhouse community. And this is a fairly new townhouse in good shape. They just had it repainted and things like that. So it's ready to go. It's going to be at 550. And, we can probably start there and go. But if any of you are available, it's going to be from 2 to 4 this Sunday. It's coming Sunday. And if you want to, hang out there for a little bit, you can pick up on some buyers, and, they may come through unrepresented, and you can have that. So just let me know, because, have to do it decent and in order. But yep, all that as well. All right. Any further questions? All righty then. Hey, y'all, let's go out here and do some business, make some money. The market is still strong, still good. We can get a push in before folks start rolling out for their holiday, their last vacation thing and all of that kind of stuff. And all will be well. I appreciate everybody taking the time and energy and effort to learn as much as you possibly can, so we can do as much as we possibly can. Right? Call me if you have any questions, any concerns. All right? Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.